Hiya. My name's Darragh Jones, and Charlie today has very kindly asked me to come and talk about embracing innovation. To do so, I've used completely different technology than Charlie and Nexa, so apologies for the lack of continuity. So my name's Darragh Jones. I'm an IT consultant and have worked in the industry in financial services predominantly for the last 15 years. And my last role, I set up an innovation hub called Bold Rocket out in Shoreditch. I wanted to kind of, I suppose, think about embracing innovation, and kind of the picture that came to mind late at night last night when I ran out of stock photos was really my son, and he's 10 months old. He's already picking up computers, and he can't wait to kind of grab hold of the latest kind of technology that's in front of me.
And your car keys.
And my car keys, yeah. I know, it was very subtly in there. Exactly. And as Charlie said, one of the themes we wanted to talk about is really the pace of change has never been quicker. We all know calculators, clearly, but I was in a meeting room the other week, and there was one right centre in the middle of the desk, and kind of haven't seen that as an object for quite a while, because they're on our phones, they're on our computers, and actually the concept and the capability is still there, but we don't use that object. The technology's moved on, and kind of thinking about that kind of, and how Casio and the companies that start to generate those things really need to evolve, and you need to stay relevant to stay competitive, right? Over half the companies in the Fortune 500 aren't there from 10 years ago, so you kind of see this constant cycling of companies as they go through and become relevant. Being a technologist and kind of in these presentations, it's kind of tradition to have something around Moore's Law and the kind of exponential growth that we're seeing. And really, look, we're kind of approaching into an era of kind of incredible change, right? So everything's becoming digital, Internet of Things, connected devices, people, networks. Really, as a company, as a business, and to some extent as an individual, staying current and understanding the changes you can make as an individual to remain on that curve as it changes in front of you is becoming super important, right? Technology that you're implementing 2-3 years ago actually is starting to become irrelevant or requiring considerable infrastructure change, right, over time. And really, another thing in the news I wanted to talk about was around singularity and the importance of AI, and how that's going to come to the forefront this year. And there's a computer program that Google DeepMind created called AlphaGo, and it beat a human opponent at this game called Go, which is effectively designed to be or one of the most complex kind of games in existence. But the important thing around that is not necessarily that the computer beat the human. Like, we've been doing that for a while, so with kind of Garry Kasparov and IBM Deep Blue. But AlphaGo actually didn't understand the game to start off with. So it sat there as a computer program. It didn't know the rules of AlphaGo. It watched games, it learnt the game, it learnt the rules, and then it became good enough to start to beat its human competitors. And in fact, one of the kind of things in the game series, there was 4 game series, and in the 4th and final game, it made a mistake. So it took that kind of almost human trend. It made a mistake. It then corrected the mistake, and over the last kind of 3-4 months, competitors and analysts, human analysts, are starting to look at that and really try and understand, and what were the decision-making processes that went into that, and kind of understand that whole logic and strategy that went with it. So I guess the point around AI here is that at some point human cognition, kind of computer cognition, starts to overlap. So think about what that means for your business, and think about what it means today rather than tomorrow. We can all sit there and watch or sit on Twitter feeds and read articles and kind of talk about and retweet kind of the trends that are going on, but think about the one change that you can make within your business or kind of as an individual to kind of really kind of stay on trend and on topic. So kind of what might your approach be, right? And what are the kind of trends that are out there that might directly impact customers and consumers over the next kind of 2 to 3 years. I've picked kind of 4 at the moment. Not in particular because I think these are the 4 kind of leading items, but I think just in terms of bringing it to life a little bit. But around kind of intelligent agents and living without a user interface, living without a phone, I think things like Amazon Echo and Siri are really going to start to move towards being mainstream, right? We're not going to use our phones or our computers to get to computer technology. We're going to just start talking to devices and expecting them to talk back. Internet of Things or smart devices, kind of such as Nest and Amazon Dash, which is a button that a physical button you can put on like your washing machine and order soap powder for your washing machine if you run out at that point in time. Those devices are going to become ubiquitous across our kind of our social lives and understanding kind of how you interact with those, how your business can start to interact with those things and design that into your kind of business processes and your organizations. Blockchain and Bitcoin, it's not all about financial services. Though that's where the kind of content is right now, but also in public service, anything that requires transparency across a number of individuals and trust. We're really going to see some of those technologies coming out. And again, kind of labouring the point a little bit, but artificial intelligence and machine learning, I think we're only starting to see the potential of that, those sort of technologies. And I'll kind of show you a video on that a little bit now, if it works.
I am a technological breakthrough.
This morning, I read over 4,000 articles on leukemia in less than a second.
たった数週間で新しい言葉も話せるように。
Thousands of new laws were published yesterday, and I'm up to speed on all of them.
I know every detail of every public quarterly report in the last 20 years.
I can spot diseases before a patient displays a single symptom.
I can understand euphemisms, idiosyncrasies, and complex metaphors.
I can tell what's going to sell out before it ever trends online.
I can forecast the weather in over 2.2 million locations at the same time!
I can grow with you.
I can coach you, enrich you.
Enlighten you. And I'm just getting warmed up.
Hello, my name is Watson. Together, we can now think the limits of what's possible.
So, not this an advert for IBM per se, but this is what really fascinates me. We're approaching a massive change, especially kind of around white collar and kind of professional services, where computers are starting to get the understanding and the information required to really start to automate those sorts of tasks. There's a McKinsey report that came out earlier on, or kind of the back end of last year, that said kind of 45% of the work that people are paid to perform today could be automated, and it could be automated with technologies that exist right now. And moving that slightly further on, there was a further report that said around, by 2020, 47% of kind of work and occupations as exist today in the United States could be automated to some extent, which is really kind of posing the question: how does that fit within your organisation, and how do you understand what the impact that will have within your business? Because it's not a technology impact, it's an organisational impact, and it's really understanding what that means to the kind of roles that your people are playing within your organisation. How do you start to empower them? How do you start to digitally engage with your customers through kind of online media, zero UI kind of interfaces and that sort of stuff, right? How do you start to build that level of engagement, that level of trust with your customer, when effectively that interface is a machine? And really what I'm proposing here is action and a kind of understanding what that first step is along that journey. There's a lot of really interesting technologies that's going to fundamentally change the way in which we live that is happening right now. But understanding how they impact your business is key to that. The example that I wanted to use around this is really Kodak, right? And Kodak were one of the kind of primary inventors of the digital camera. They understood the technology, they understood the innovation, and they really kind of drove some of those technologies forward. but it wasn't the technology that didn't succeed. It was the organisation didn't understand the impact that would have, and instead of being market leaders, they kind of started to focus in on, you know, film media, and actually their business model, their whole business became irrelevant as a result. So really kind of, you know, so what? Really kind of leaving you with a few key messages was, you know, think about what key actions you can take today, the technologies that exist, and are kind of starting to come to the forefront. Enable your organisation and think about automation across kind of all lines, and really understand what that means as a platform for change. You may not own the customer moving forward. You might expect to have websites and mobile sites today, but what does that mean moving forward? And building a flexible business that can adapt to those sort of technologies is really important. And then prepare for change. Thank you.